All right. I want to test out a new feature where I'm using my regular unit tests for my project to run the profiler against them and have Copilot improve the performance. Now, in the past, I've had to create benchmark projects and use benchmark.net to figure out how long it took to run like certain code paths. But since I already have a unit test harness, I can unleash Copilot on that to create the profiler session and optimize based on the data it gets from running those unit tests. So let's dive in and take a look. So here I have like a pretty basic project with a test project. And if I go look here in Test Explorer, you can see I got a bunch of unit tests. So I'm going to select one of my unit tests and hit Profile with Copilot. And that will start the Copilot chat here. And the first thing that will happen is that the profiler agent running inside Visual Studio will start running the unit test and profile them as it does that. Now, what's really cool about this is that instrumentation that happens allows the profiling information to be captured so that we can find out exactly what code paths took how long to execute, and we can get a good CPU profiling done that. And you can see now it is kind of done with that. It was pretty quick. And we get our profiling sessions. We can go in and see the hot paths. I can dig into this. It's just regular profiling, but Copilot ran it for me, right? But I can click in and I can see what's going on. The thing is, though, that with profiling, I might be able to look at it and see where the hot paths are and the expensive method calls are, for instance. But what do I actually do about it, right? Am I good enough? Do I know how to optimize code the best possible way? That's always been my problem with profiling. But with Copilot, we can see here that it goes in and it figures out what's going on. It can find some things. So now we can see here, okay, go in and optimize both. It's asking me how I want to proceed. So saying, okay, just optimize this. And that's really nice. It gives me that question, right? I can decide how I want to do this so that I'm always in control of what's going on. It's chugging along here. So I don't know about you, but you might be really good at profiling and running debugging and all that type of stuff to find those performance bottlenecks. But I've never been that deep to go down to the metal, in C# and .NET, for instance. It's really nice that someone like Copilot can come in and kind of teach me as I go along and say, oh, that's how you optimize regular expressions, or that's how you use the, link correctly, or you've used the right data types for like lists or whatnot. It kind of teaches me as we go along. And I kind of appreciate that because I'm not super strong in that type of stuff, as I just mentioned. It's now making a couple of optimizations, right? It's figuring some things out with my regular expressions that I'm using here in my code. And now it builds, make sure that its changes are good. And now it runs the tests again to profile one more time so it can compare that change that it just made to the first profiling sessions it did. Again, that's the baseline. So it compares it against the baseline. And so we like to see whether or not this made a difference or not. So instead of guessing, we get the scientific analysis, right? We get to see whether or not it is an optimization we want to keep or just discard or try again. So let's see here. So this is kind of impressive. Check this out. We got some good, nice optimizations happening here. A 40% increase here in performance. We eliminated completely one of the calls here, which is really nice. This is pretty fantastic. This is definitely something I want to keep. And did I know how to optimize regular expressions and all that? No. But guess what? I can now become a performance expert, a profiler, superhero on the team, right? Because I have unit tests and I have Copilot, and that's all I need. Enjoy. Happy coding.